In this video, I'm going to go through a process for determining the locations where I need to pour the self-leveling cement. For that, I'm going to be using a laser level process. I need the laser level itself. This is a self-leveling laser. So if I move it, you can see that the laser self-levels. There are pendulums inside it that work with the gravity that makes it self-level. That means it's no matter how I push it or disturb it, it's gonna come back and be perfectly level. Other than that, I need a pen to mark the ground, and then I need a stick and a pencil so I can mark the stick. Before we start measuring with laser, one thing to clarify is the purpose of the self-leveling cement. The intention to put self-leveling cement is not to really level the whole house per se. The intention more so is to make sure that we don't have sudden humps or dips or sudden slope downs, so to speak, that make it hard to lay the hardwood floor. So we're just going to be focusing on areas where there are such problems. So to begin with that, we usually try to go from the center of the house. So this is my passageway, the center of the house, and I'm measuring at the entryway to the bedroom, and I can see that this is pretty level side, pretty level area. So I'm going to use this area as my reference to keep my laser and then measure the rest of the room based on this reference point. Once I have set the laser level on my reference spot, I'm going to take a stick and keep it very close to the laser like this and mark that line where the laser is falling. Mark it as R, which is my reference line. Once I have my reference line, I know that this is the level that the laser should be if the whole floor is on the same level. Now I'm going to take this stick and put it in different locations of the room and figure out where the laser is falling. If the laser falls above this reference line, then I know the floor is dipped. That means very likely I need to put the self-leveling compound over there. If the laser line falls below the reference line, then I know the floor is not dipped, but the other way around, it's going up. There may be a hump right there. And likely I won't be needing a self-leveling compound there. This is an example where I see my laser is falling below my reference line. That tells me that this spot is a hump. And I'm only about 4 feet or 5 feet away from the laser itself. So what I'll be doing is go to the bottom of the stick and mark this location as a hump. For humps, I'm drawing dotted circles, and for dips, I'm drawing solid circles. And I'm doing one circle per quarter of an inch. So since this is about half an inch, so I'm going to do 2 circles, dotted circles here to indicate that this is a hump and it's about half an inch above the level of the reference line. This is an example where my reference line is below the laser level. That tells me that this is a dip and I am at the other side of the room from the laser. So I'm going to mark this location as a dip. This dip was about half an inch, so I'm going to draw 2 solid circles over here, 1 circle for each quarter. That tells me that this is a dip because it's a solid circle, and it also tells me that this is about half an inch dip from my reference position, from my reference level. Now I have finished measuring the whole room, and let me go through the results and what kind of naming convention or what kind of convention I came up to indicate whether there is dips or bumps or level, so to speak. Here's my laser. Let's start with this side of the room, and I drew these concentric circles like so. Each circle is 1/4 of an inch. Two circles meaning it's 1/2 an inch. And this is a solid circle. That means it tells me that this is a dip. And the dip is right here, very close to the laser level. So it's about 3 feet. And the same thing goes on over here and over here. That tells me that this side of the room, towards the wall, and the laser's right there, there's a dip that runs down towards that direction. Then as I move in a little bit farther away on this side of the room, I have these kind of dotted circles, which tells me this is a hump. And this is just about 4 or 5 feet away from the laser. This is a hump right here. This is 1/4 of an inch because each circle is 1/4 of an inch, and dotted means there's a hump. Again, if I move, there's 2 dotted circles here. That means there's almost 1/2 an inch of a hump right here. And again, 1/4 inch hump, and then it gets level over here. So now I move even further from the laser, and around in this area I put a check mark. Same thing, check mark, which tells me that this particular area is in level with the laser. And as I move in even further towards the wall, I again put these solid circles here, meaning this is a dip. So one circle is 1/4 inch, and this tells me this is a 1/2 an inch dip right here as compared to the laser sitting over there. And I do the same more things at different spots. This is a 1/4 of an inch dip. This is a 1/2 an inch dip. And as I move in, again, 1/2 an inch dip, 1/4 of an inch dip, and 1/2 an inch dip. So this is how I mark the whole room. And in summary, what this is telling me is with the reference spot over here, this side of the room has a dip that moves towards the direction. And if I put a self-leveling cement somewhere over here, it's going to flow towards that. Then I come over here, this is a hump. And humps are problematic because if I put my sample wood floor over here, you can see it's wobbling. We don't want the wood to wobble. It's not going to interconnect properly if the wood is wobbling. So my only solution is to remove that hump. And one mistake I did is we already returned the floor maintainer with the coating removal tool. So we have to rent it back again. So next time I know that before returning the floor maintainer, which removes these kind of debris and even removes and levels the floor, I should be doing the laser level first, making sure I remove all the humps too before I return the floor maintainer renter. So that's what I'm going to do. I have to remove this maybe 1/4 of an inch of surface right here in this direction. In this area it's level, so I don't have to do anything. In this area it's again dipped, and so I need to put some self-leveling cement over there. So overall I need to remove 1/4 of an inch, 1/2 an inch material in this area. I will pour self-leveling compound only in this area because it's a dip, and another spread of self-leveling compound in this area because this is also a dip. There's also even more acute dip, about 3/4 of an inch in this closet area, but I can pour some self-leveling compound over there. So that is it. This is the purpose of laser measuring, basically to figure out if there are any humps which will interfere with the installation, and also if there are any dips in certain areas where I know now that where should I be putting the self-leveling compound, and if I pour it, which direction it's going to run. I have a fair idea now. Thanks for watching.